You know, what we're going to do is we're going to do some more objection handling with the conversation that we've been having, which is conversations around the new compensation rules with NAR. And I think we should have do like a little freestyle hot potato on really getting used to having the conversation when it comes up. So we're gonna freestyle it and talk about come up with some objections here in the group, and then just play with it a little bit. Sound good? Yes. You guys cool with that? Okay. So what are some of the objections that I'm in fear of receiving or am excited to engage, whether it's prospecting or I'm at the appointment and I have to have that compensation conversation at the appointment, compensation conversation at the consultation. Okay, what are some of the things that you think you're going to hear, you're in fear, or you're ready to engage? Open floor. What do we got? What are they going to say?
Joe Biden said we're going to save tens of thousands of dollars.
Tens of thousands of dollars on what?
Commissions.
Commissions? Yeah. Okay, so what's the objection or the what?
I'm the seller. You're the agent.
That's a statement. Give me what's the
How am I going to save tens of thousands of dollars?
Okay, so new changes. New changes. How's it affect me?
Are we on the seller or the buyer? I'm sorry.
Well, we're doing buyer. Yeah, we're doing buyer. Yeah, buyer. Buyer. Adam.
I mean, he didn't say seller or buyer. He just said it's gonna say.
Yeah. So, but the new change effect for buyers is the same thing too, because people say that, right? I had a guy just this morning. While Dom was setting an appointment, I was setting an appointment at the same exact time, and unfortunately, we set it for the same exact day and time. And the guy's like, oh, are these changes going on? You know, I want to make sure, you know, that I'm getting a good deal, and you know, things are changing. And he kind of alluded to it, but I knew what he was talking about. He's like, how are these new changes going to affect me? Okay, all right. So what else? What else are we going to hear that I'm excited about or I'm in fear of?
The new Zillow statement.
New Zillow statement. Does that have to do with compensation?
Yeah. So
it does?
Signing, yeah.
How?
They say we can open the door for you guys without any signing.
How does that have to do with us?
So the buyers go with them without signing.
Okay, so I don't understand what's happening. What are you talking about? Zillow says what?
They can open the door without getting signed.
Zillow can do that because they're not licensed probably, or what? I don't.
Everybody says that.
The industry's that. Unless you can't go show somebody's property, unless it's ours in our brokerage, unless you have a signed buyer rep. And Zillow has a one-page form that they're doing. We're not utilizing that or the short form, unless potentially for leases. But for the most part, I think it's an opportunity to have the conversation and meet with them up front.
So what's the objection? What does that sound like? Because I'm not getting it yet. What's the objection?
The objection is...
Why do I need you if Zillow will open doors for me?
No, Zillow won't open.
Oh.
The objection is...
I would say, why do I need to sign? Why do I have to sign this before we go look at a house?
It's just the fear of signing.
Okay. All right. So I don't want to sign.
Or we did that. Like, I don't want to pay you if I can't get it in there.
I don't want to pay.
Or I can't pay you.
Right.
I don't have 3% to pay
Yeah.
for this deal.
I can't pay. Compensation. Okay. I don't want to sign.
Something else I heard this week was an agent. So some agents are putting on that on their showing time in order to schedule. We are recommending you get a buyer's representation signed. All it says in showing time is just check this, that you acknowledge that we have told you as the listing agent, you should get a buyer's rep signed. No, they're not signing it, they're not anything. It's just saying from the listing agent to the buyer's agent, I want you to acknowledge that we've advised you on this. And agents are refusing to acknowledge that they should have a buyer's agent representation signed.
Buyer's
The
agents.
agent, but this is where the buyer comes in.
Got it.
So educating our buyers on how do we, basically the I don't want to sign.
And the one thing I would say with that is, we have no control what another broker's going to do.
Right, but having the conversation with a buyer to choose you as an agent.
We do have the control to say, this is what we're doing and this is how we're meeting the guidelines to protect you and this is our value.
Okay, so what would be how do we attack that?
Value statement.
So what's the objection or what's the resistance?
I guess it goes along with the I don't want to sign.
I don't want to sign.
I'm just gonna work directly with the listing.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. I don't need you. Oh, direct to seller.
Something goes south.
Direct seller, direct listing.
Direct to seller. All right, direct to, listing. Okay.
Redfin agents,
What about it?
I think they have changed it from the new program with the $49 for the showings. Yeah.
Okay.
They're charging for showings?
Yeah.
But they still need representation though.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I don't want to sign, new change in effect. I can't pay. I don't want to sign or.
Can we do one not related to the new rules? Because those are all related to the new rules.
Right. We're working on new rules.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought we were trying to.
You should know that already.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm saying, can we do like an objection that's not related? Because those all kind of go together.
Yeah.
New change in effect. I don't want to sign. I don't need you. I can't pay compensation. That's at the. This is at the appointment here. I can't pay compensation. I don't want to pay compensation. This is at the appointment. This is prospecting, let's call it. Because two different conversations, right? Similar but different. Okay.
What happens if the seller refuses to pay and I don't want to pay you? Then what?
Yeah,
So the
I don't want to
stalemate-
pay.
The stalemate situation.
Yeah, okay, I think we're getting there. All right. David, did you have something else?
It's just interesting that all of that was taking place prior to the NAR changes.
Yeah.
Every single one of those.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, yes and no.
I mean, in text,
If you were doing your job, yes. If you weren't doing your job, no. Most people weren't doing their job is the problem. What's that, Jake?
There's always been discount brokers, and
Yeah.
they're not as prolific.
But
as
there,
we
and
expected.
this was the bigger problem, and a legitimate, valid problem. People running around without buyer reps. Everybody's done it. Everybody's done it. Okay.
and they discounted their own value by saying, don't worry about it, the seller pays for it.
Right.
And
Right.
that's how we were like, oh, don't
Yeah.
worry about it, the seller will take
Yeah.
it.
Look, this is a good thing for people that want to be professional and run their business like a business. This is a good thing. Okay. All right. Did I miss anything else here? I think this is a good start just to play with. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's start with prospecting. Right? Now this is freestyle, okay? So we haven't done this before, so I don't really have this all wrapped up nice and pretty and tidy, okay? So it'll get a little hairy here for probably a second, but all right, so I don't want to sign. I'm on a call, I'm at the open house. Let's do open house, that's a good one, okay? I'm at the open house and I'm trying to set an appointment, right? Who sets appointments at open houses? Yeah. You should get one bona fide appointment, average, out of every open house. Average. You don't get one at one, you gotta get open house appointments, man. You gotta be shooting for open house appointments. And not like give them my card, like I'll call me. No, I mean like bona fide, bring some value, set the appointment. Okay, well I'm not interested in signing right now. I don't need you, I'll go direct to seller. Okay, let's do this. Who wants to be the agent? Ooh. All right, come on up. Who wants to be the buyer? This is an easy one. Who wants to be the buyer?
Do it.
Okay. Okay, here we go. All right, so you're closing for an appointment, right? Let's pick up the conversation right at the end where you've talked a little bit about your value, and you're like, all right, hey, let's sit down.
I'm looking to sign up with a buyer, right?
You're the agent.
And I'm looking to sign a buyer.
Right.
Okay.
Yep, and she's gonna say, I don't need you, I'm just interested more in going directly to sellers. Okay? All right, so wrap up with a little.
Assuming that I did or didn't do a good job in explaining my value through the whole thing.
Good, assuming
That I did or didn't do a good job.
That you did a good job.
Okay.
Yeah, that you did a good job. Okay? All right, so just pick it up at the tail end where you're talking about some value and shoot for the appointment, and then I'd rather go directly to sellers because I'm interested in saving money and not having to pay.
Great. So it sounds like we're a pretty good fit to work together, yeah?
I'm not sure though. I think there's a changes lately. I don't feel like I would like to, pay anything, and I would like to go directly to the seller.
So it sounds like you're most interested in getting the best deal that you possibly can. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. If you're going to go direct to the seller, where are you going to find these properties?
Thank you. From Zillow, from all the website. And
okay. So let's assume that probably 88% of the homes that you see have a seller that's represented by an agent.
Yeah, I
okay.
think so.
So you're choosing to enter into a marketplace to work directly with a seller, but really you're working directly with the seller's agent who's trained to negotiate.
I think both a scenario. There's a 20% is still sold by seller, and maybe to your point, 80%, and the listing agent represents the seller.
Well, I mean, the stats that we have says 88% of homes sell through through the realtor,
okay.
right? So, if you agree that the research is correct, then we can agree that there's 12% of the houses that don't. Okay, which leaves people that are selling by owner, and then people that are selling to family members is where those are transferring. Okay,
correct.
so are you saying you want to limit your options to 12% of the available homes?
Not necessarily. I can work with the seller through agent, but what I learned from this new segment, the seller can sign an agreement with the listing, whether they can directly negotiate with another buyer or through the agent. So I can go
absolutely.
Inside, find out.
So
there's still a big percentage.
What do you think the benefit to that is for you? Because frankly, to me, it sounds like that's a benefit to the seller.
How does that?
To not have an agent on the other side.
How does that affect me?
Well, if you don't have an agent that does this all the time, then you're going up against somebody that's trained to negotiate. You're going to be purchasing for yourself, which means there's emotions involved, which means that they can push you harder, and you're going to end up paying more.
It could be.
So does that sound like a good thing to you? Is that what you want, or do you want to hire a professional like me that can handle negotiations on your behalf and get you a better deal?
Let me think about it.
Closer.
I often find when there's something to think about, there's an outlying question. Do you have any other questions or concerns that that makes you think you wouldn't want to hire me to do the job for you?
I'm still very unsure, and I would basically do some market analysis myself.
Okay.
And I can get back to you later.
So what market analysis?
Let them close you.
Huh?
Let them close you.
Oh, okay.
What kind of market analysis are you looking for that I wouldn't be able to provide?
I'm not sure. Don't listen to her.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Great.
Shut up, Gulai.
And honestly, I think this conversation kind of proves our point that you're better off with an agent. So why don't we do the right thing and sign the contract and get you into a house with the best deal possible?
Okay, that's
Great.
All right, let's sit down and talk. Yeah, okay, all right. Good job. All right, what'd you like real quick? What'd you like?
Yes.
JJ?
He definitely was going through value. Talking about like the search, negotiations, market analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good things to make that prospective buyer think about how to move forward.
Okay, good. What'd you like?
What is the benefit to you? He asked this question about the.
Yeah, what's the benefit to you? Very good questions. To people grow into the conversations you create around them. We got to help people think, okay? Because they're thinking like this. And we got to ask better questions. You were asking some really good questions to expand their perspective. What's in it for them? All good stuff. What else you like? What else you like? One more you like. Elam.
Could the buyer say, I can reduce your commission from the list price as an objection? So.
Could the buyer say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she didn't vote.
Yeah.
Without hiring. No, one of the
Sure.
objections.
Yeah, of course you can. All right. What else you like? What else you like?
He used data. He used an actual data point
Mm-hmm.
to get her to understand, okay, there's only 12% of homes that are for sale by owner or sale between family members. So it's actually less than that.
Mm-hmm.
Are those the houses that you want to limit your search to?
Right. Good. Okay, we're gonna do one more role play. Yeah, for sure. That's where I'm going right now. All right. Would opportunities for him to do something differently or to be a little bit more strategic?
Give more time in between the questions, like let her answer the question before throwing the next one at her.
Okay. Breathe. Also, he double jabbed. Sometimes you guys do this, right? Like you ask a question, and instead of letting them answer it, you ask another question. One question at a time. Like what? Because sometimes answer that question, like we get a little jumpy when we ask the question, like shut up, and like let them answer it. And it's okay, by the way. Silence is okay. It's good, actually. Silence is good, and let them answer that next question.
Because they're thinking, and I think also asking what's important about that.
Yeah.
Tell me, how do you feel about that?
So,
just a little deeper on some of the questions.
Coaching Skills Camp gave me, David, I went to Diana's last Coaching Skills Camp. I don't know if you were there at that one, at Lost Creek or where it was, down south. Yeah, and those two questions have changed my life on being able to dig deeper on motivation and actually to deconstruct, to challenge beliefs. Right? People say stuff and you're like, so what's important about that to you then? And what does that do for you?
Because we create stories.
Yeah.
We have our stories. She has a story around this home buying thing, and we have to figure out what
right.
it is. And then she self-discovers if it's serving her.
Exactly. So a way to, in a healthy way, challenge somebody's belief. What's important about that? What does that do for you? That's also that's a compound effect on digging on motivation, but it works equally well in finding out like what's going on here. What's happening up there? Okay, Coco.
I was going to say, you asked really great questions, but yeah, slowing down a little bit to really understand, like let her talk and kind of get the motivation out.
Yeah, that's good.
Let
Slow.
herself realize that she's making the mistake.
I think I should have gone for more feels. Also.
More feelsies. Yeah, I'm gonna go over these real quick in a second.
Close was really like, let's sit down and sign a contract. So I would have been like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, we barely know each other, and you just got me to the point where I'm sort of comfortable talking to you, and now you want me to sign a contract.
I feel like that was a faux pas though. On like you were just.
You were telling me to close.
I was like close.
That was just a
I think he
trigger.
just.
That was a script trigger. Right?
Yeah, he was just subconsciously triggering. Sign the contract. But his mind was there when his mouth started.
You're not going to do anything that doesn't make sense for you. Let's sit down and have a conversation. Right.
Yeah, because remember, the appointment, when we're talking about the appointment, I'm not selling the decision, I'm selling the conversation. Some of you guys are doing that. You start talking about the decision, like stop talking about the decision. Like talk about the conversation, which is, okay, so that's a lead-in. Perfect close, okay? This is in the playbook, perfect close. Value, strike X, strike commitment, assumptive close. This is the perfect close right here. Bring value, strike commitment, assumptive close. Okay, if you don't have value clearly designated to the appointment, like they're not gonna go. They're not gonna show up. What's clear value? Dom, give me one.
Any kind of information that we know that they
Yeah, inside market information is what I say. What's the inside market information? Sold data that they don't have. That's inside market information.
List of sales price.
List of sales price. Days on market. Days on market they might be able to get, right? But like, we have data they don't have. False or true?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have information to bring. How does it benefit them? Maybe is a better thing to plop on top of that, right? Because you could just say good stuff. Sometimes you guys are saying good stuff, but you're not saying like, how does it benefit them? Why are you saying that? Like, I can bring you some good information.
Why?
So what?
I can just look online. Let me go to Zillow and look at it.
Right. So information. What does information do for them?
You get educated and makes you
Educated.
It helps you make a better decision.
Helps you make a better decision.
More competitive offer.
More competitive offer.
Same thing, gives you an edge.
Gives me an edge.
You might be able to show me some properties that aren't even on the market.
Maybe able to show me properties that are not on the market.
You don't pay more than the home's worth.
You don't pay more than the home's worth. What else is a value to bring to the appointment?
You know how things work in real estate today. Because they're sitting there going, it's changed, but they don't know how it's changed.
Right.
Okay, strategy.
Yeah.
Strategy. Dom, what do we talk about ours are? Inside market information. Uh-huh.
I feel like it's like interpreting the data too.
Right, interpreting the data.
Negotiations, like handling negotiations.
Okay, strategy, negotiations. What else? What are the value you bringing? Anybody?
Paperwork, like all the contracts. Do you know how to?
Okay.
You don't want to leave any money on the table, do you?
Yeah. Knowledge. Knowledge to do what? Why is that important on knowing the paperwork?
It's in the paperwork, they are going to sign it.
That's what it is. Why is it important?
Risk mitigation.
Risk mitigation.
Paperwork sucks.
Paperwork sucks.
Saving money.
Saving money.
Saving time.
Saving time.
Saving stress.
Saving stress.
Reducing risk.
Reducing risk. All right, look, value. What is it? Why is it important? You got to be really clear with that, Larry. Really clear with that. Okay? That's what's going to sell the appointment. That's what's going to sell the conversation. Not the decision to work with me, not the decision to buy something right now. Some of you guys do that too, right? Like, I don't know right now. And you start going into this dissertation about like why they should buy right now. Slow down, man. Rule number one. What's rule number one? Get to know the people. I got a BC boy back there. Okay. All right. Yeah, you remembered. Get to know the people. I had that printed up on my acquisition team last year. Get to know the people. Stop freaking this commission breath you got on trying to make something happen and get to really know the people. And that care, that energy, Miriam, that energy conveys. And you stop trying so hard to sell. You don't have to sell anything. You're trying to create a better conversation to find out if there's an opportunity to help them. And then they're either going to be interested in that or not. They're going to be motivated around that or not. All right, I got to bring value. Why is it important? What is it and why is it important? Strike commitment's a big one, okay? Because this is where you're going to address their subconscious, and you're going to talk about like, look, no commitments. I know you're not going to do anything unless it makes sense for you. That's like my go-to, right? And if you get a tie down on that, it actually works really, really well. What's a tie down, Nicole? A tie down. Do you remember what it's?
You're not going to do anything unless it makes sense, right?
Right? Is that right? Some people overuse that, and it sounds really salesy when it's overused. But sometimes it's important to get a tie down just to make sure, like, are you listening to me? Like, are you still on the same page? And do you agree? That's a tie down. But that striking commitment, what that does, Renee, is it really helps them put them in control. Okay, hey, look, we're not going to do anything unless it makes sense for you. Is that fair? 100% of the time. They go, yeah, that's fair. 100% of the time, okay, when I get the tie down on that. Hey, we're just going to sit down and talk. I'm going to leave some information with you, and then you're going to figure out where you go from there. I use that one a lot, too. I use that one a lot.
Yeah. You're going to make the best decision for you and your family. As long as you have I just want to make sure you have all the information you need to make that decision.
Information to just figure out what you're going to do, what's best for your family. Sit and talk. Have a conversation. Share. Guys, use like comfortable language because you're striking commitment because appointment to them equals commitment. They're thinking like appointment, oh, I got to sit down with a professional appointment, and they're already thinking like you're like coming at them.
Right, you're on the hunt to get something. So I think mindset is so important when we're reaching out for the appointment. Why do you want to have an appointment? Is it to benefit you because you need the commission, you need that paycheck, or is it to solve their problem?
Yeah.
Like what mindset are you?
Yeah.
Is from the first contact, right? From the call, from
yeah.
message. What is the mindset about setting up the appointment?
That's right back to, Joe, people don't hear what you say.
No.
They hear how you feel.
Right.
And if the words are right, but the intentions are wrong, or worse, you're desperate, you're like, please, 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 haven't had an appointment in 2 weeks. And you seem like you're interested and you're fairly well dressed. You know what I mean? Right? Versus like seeking to understand, getting to know the people. Like the whole point of us sitting down is to figure out what's going on. Because I'm going to ask some questions. I should be asking questions on the pre-qual, Jake, right? Like what's happening here and how motivated they may really be. Quick question.
I was just going to add, I don't know where I learned this, but before you sit down with someone, if you think about the worst real estate agent you know, and your job is to protect them from not working with that person and work with a quality person, come at it from that perspective of like, everything I say is to help you. And they feel it. And every word that comes out of your mouth comes from that. And not
and 100%. And the ability for me to ask better questions in a more strategic way makes me even that much more powerful. I'm going to get to that in 1 second. All right, value, bring value, strike commitment, and then just assumptively close. Tuesday at 4 or Wednesday at 6. Do afternoons work better or evenings? Later in the week, weekdays or weekends? Whatever, just take control, okay? Because look, nobody follows people who are weak. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. People follow people who are strong. We're talking about, to us, this is a $10,000 or $20,000 deal. To them, it's a $500,000 or $800,000 deal. It's important. And you're talking and you seem kind of desperate and you haven't really clearly presented value and they're like, nope, no. Call you later. Smell you later. Okay. My 90s. Okay, value, strike commitment, assumptive close. Perfect close right there, baby. All right, I'm going to give you a couple more tools here, and then we're going to role play again because on some other days in Power Hour, we're actually like practicing this at a high level for you to get more comfortable with it. This is the focus today here, but I'm just giving you a couple of insights and quick tools to use. So for objection handlers, there are 3 things that I use pretty consistently to create conversations for them to grow into. Well, what if working, tell me your name again.
Me?
Yeah.
Aisha.
Aisha, that's a pretty name.
Thank you.
Okay. What if, Aisha, working with a buyer's agent actually got you a better deal than just looking around on your own? Now, listen, forget about the answer right now. I'm just trying to crack the egg on a little bit more possibility, creating a conversation for them to grow into. Okay? That's not the thing, but it's a thing. All the inches count to like create this conversation on challenging their beliefs that like, I don't need an agent. I don't need an agent. Well, what if going with an agent got you more opportunities to see properties you couldn't see before? What if that happened? Don't ask another question. Shut up and listen.
Yeah. Pauly, would you say what if going with an agent or what if going with me? Because
what if going with me? That's probably better. I may not say that because I don't want to prioritize the decision, the commitment. Because right now I'm selling the decision, I'm not selling me. Because when it sounds like I'm selling me, then it sounds like I'm being salesy, and that's not what I want. I don't want a sale. I want a conversation. I want to sit with another human being, learn about you, and figure out if there's a way to help you. Because some people I don't want to sit with. Some people I don't want to help. Did you have your hand raised or you were just stretching?
No, sorry.
Okay. All right, what if? All right, think, feelsies. We're going to move through these quick so we can get to another role play. Think, feel, tied to a risk or reward. This is very, very effective, okay? Well, Rick, how would you feel if you didn't go with an agent and you weren't able to see all the properties that were available? What do they say?
good, I want to see everything.
Right. Not good, I want to see everything. Or what? Or better, what do you mean? I love when they ask questions because that means they're seeking to understand. Sounds like I asked a good question. Confused? Don't like the question? No? You're good? You're like, That's your focus face. Focus face. Okay, it's good. That's good. Now I know. Now I know. Like, she doesn't hate me. She's good. Okay. Okay. Think, feel tied to a risk or reward. What are your thoughts if you were able to go with somebody who was able to show you properties offline? What are your thoughts if you were able to go with somebody and you were able to save 3 to 5% in addition to what you could do on your own in the negotiation process? Could that happen? Could happen. Okay. Look, this isn't about like decisive what is or isn't. This is about exploration on challenging beliefs. Think, feel tied to a risk or reward. Now, the reason why it's think, feel is because some of us are more logic oriented. Some of us are more emotion oriented. Disc profile, if you don't know it, you need to Google it. There's plenty out there, but it's the simple one and it's the easiest to just comprehend. Because if you're a D or a C, you're probably operating from more logic orientation. And if you're an I or an S, you're probably operating from more feel orientation, emotions. Is it a big deal which one you use? Actually, no, it's not. But it can help, right? You're in that delicate moment and you're talking to an I or an S and you're like, and you feel like the tension rising, or you feel the discomfort. Have you been in an open house and that happened, right? You're talking, you're like, everything's cool. And then you're like, wait a minute, everything's not cool. Right? Yeah. And they're an I or an S, and if you're a D, you're like, oh, okay. You're like, oh, okay, hey, listen, Renee, I totally understand. You know, you don't want to do anything that's important, that doesn't make sense, that, you know, doesn't feel right. You know, you want to make sure that you're comfortable in the process and that you have the right relationship. And I totally appreciate that. And so how would you feel if you were able to go with an agent who was able to bring you a lot more value in the relationship and maybe even properties that you weren't able to see online? Breaks for it. Now, I'll actually talk like that sometimes, and that's out of character for me. But you know what? I'm a chameleon, baby. Because here it's not about deception, it's about alignment. Yes. And respecting that and having awareness and knowledge that, look, if you're just going to be you, that's fine, but you're only going to attract you. Mm-hmm. And that's like 25% of the population. And then you're repelling the other 75%. Or you're not able to attract the other 75%. And so recognizing that Renee's a high S when I'm a high D, I need to slow it down, be more empathetic, use words that align for him, feelsies versus thinksies. And he's a high D, and I'm like, hey, Renee, I know, let's say he's a D, right? And I'm an S. You better switch gears, baby. You better switch gears. This is the hardest one right there, I think. I feel like I've seen. Like the S's dealing with D's, oh man. They're like, dude. D's hate you, jerks. Right? You S's, yeah, Coco, right? It's just that, but when I understand and I can acknowledge and have consciousness with, like, I'm just respecting that other person's perception. I'm just respecting and that other person's perception. Then I can switch gears and go, oh, okay, I need to speed it up a little bit here. I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit. I'm going to be a little bit more authoritative, and I'm going to use some thinksies. And hey, Paul, I totally understand. Look, the bottom line is you're not going to do anything unless it makes sense for you, and you don't want to waste any time. Is that right? And the D goes, yeah, great. So look, what are your thoughts if we could sit down? I could bring some value to you. And it would be able to save you, it could potentially save you thousands of dollars, and then you'll be on your way and you can figure it out. How's that sound? Sounds pretty good. All right, you hear how even the pace changed, the tone changed, selection of words changed. Okay, you guys are getting a super quick crash course on this because I want to do another role play. Somebody raise a hand.
Yeah, I did. I interacted with the D before in the deal, and she was like, oh, quick.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the quick, it does make a mistake. You know, she was quick, but she don't think through.
Right.
So you have to change it to slow down a little.
Yeah, repeat, approve, move. Repeat, approve, move. Yeah. Keep coming to Power Hour and you'll learn. Repeat, approve, move is the way to do that. Hey, I totally understand. I appreciate what you're thinking. And then you ask a better question. You wouldn't want to have us have a legal problem because we're moving too fast, would you? No. Okay. Well, look, let's just have a conversation about what we need to have a conversation about. Repeat, approve, move. It's another tool. All right. Option or plus and then negative and then positive. Okay, this one's a little bit more confusing to explain, but here's how I use it. Look, you could go on your own. Aisha, you could go on, did I say that right? Aisha. It's an RB person, I think. Okay, Aisha. Okay, listen, you could absolutely go on your own, Aisha. I totally understand that. Or, you know, what if you had a conversation with a realtor and there was a financial advantage to doing that? You know another realtor right now, Haisha? Listen, I respect that. I'd be surprised if you didn't know a realtor. Or what if we had a conversation and there was a little bit more value, something maybe you didn't have awareness to, and there was something for consideration in regards to seeing properties off market? What are your thoughts on just having a conversation around that? Okay, you get it? Or is the option. And I want my option on the end, which is the positive. Who's positive? My positive, not their positive, okay? What they're thinking is a negative, what I'm thinking is a positive, and that's how I stack it. Okay, that was just the crash course on good value when I need to ask better questions, and a better question is gonna be open or closed? Open. What's open mean, Jake?
Not closed.
Not binary.
Something that's not yes or no, something that's not like a finite, they can answer it in like a really concise way.
Right.
They make some things.
Yeah, why is that better though, Kim?
Well, because a yes or no shuts down the conversation real fast.
Right. And the favorite word of a 2-year-old is what? No, right? So it's already hard, it's already like hard programmed into us. Like no's are just programmed into us. They're already sitting in a state of fear, apprehension, anxiety, resistance. It's already happening. Okay, so don't enable that. Like ask a better question rooted in what they think or what they feel. What, who, what, where, when, how. I don't like why.
The guy that does closed questions, but he goes yes or yes at the end. Like,
right.
like,
yeah, that's great.
You don't get a no.
Yeah, that's what they want to hear.
Yeah.
You say you don't like why.
I don't like why. Why is that? Yeah, because now I have to defend my position. And it's a defensive question where I have to validate what I just said.
Tell me more is better than
tell me more. So why do you think that? So why did you do that?
It's defensive.
So
now you're like, wait, you're questioning why I'm doing something.
So they have to defend, it's a defensive position. They have to defend their position. And now we're in an adversarial conversation versus an exploratory conversation where I seek to understand. Why is an okay question? Do I ever ask why? Of course I do, right? But I'm definitely having consciousness on like asking better questions around what, who, when, where, how.
It's also the personality type. Why to a D isn't they're not going to get defensive.
No.
Why to an I or an S feeling like you're judging me or you're coming after me.
So
as a blanket statement, C love it. But as a blanket, if you just like, oh, tell me more.
Yeah. Yeah. For D's or C's, not as big a deal, but yeah.
You don't think that hard.
Why does it have a direction? Why does it have a direction?
Does
right? Tell me more is like, what did you just tell me, and tell me more about that. Why is like they can go in any direction.
Right. Why? Defend yourself. Tell me more. I seek to understand.
Why is that important to you?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. What's important about that? What's important about that? Why is that important? Not a bad question. Not a bad question. What's important about that? And then there's all these other ways to be able to emphasize. When you guys see the playbooks, words that are bold and italicized, that's a piece of NLP in regards to, they do that in bold. They used to do that in bold, right? Like 3 words, and then you emphasize each word differently, and then you pronounce any of the words differently, and it changes the whole context and the meaning of the word of the sentence. Neuro-linguistic programming, okay? How to make somebody like you in 90 seconds or less. Terrible title. But it's a little tiny book that you could read in like 1 or 2 days. It's one of those little books. And it's like a crash course on NLP. And NLP is really powerful stuff. Any high-level politicians or preachers or public speakers use NLP. Okay? The ability to influence and be more powerful in your communication. Okay, let's roll. Let's do it again. We're at the appointment. Okay, I'll be the buyer. Who wants to be the agent? You want to be the agent?
What's the purpose for this conversation?
It's for you to close me for a buyer rep agreement signed.
Buyer rep agreement signed?
Yeah. Okay.
And where do we meet now?
We're sitting down at the office. And
in the office already?
Yeah, we're sitting in the office.
How did I know you?
You met me at an open house.
Okay.
Yeah, and now we're having a conversation. We're at the end of the presentation where you've communicated all of your value, and it's time to talk about compensation. And so we started this, I think you were here, with compensation with, no, we don't have to go there. Let's just start right with an objection around compensation. So you've explained that there's three things that could happen. A seller could pay all of your commission, a seller could pay some of your commission, or a seller could pay none of your compensation. Still wiring that.
So
okay?
We are already in the appointment.
Already in the appointment.
And try to get it.
Right. Okay. Right. So I'm going to object around I don't want to pay compensation, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
But what's your job? What do you do?
What do I do? I work at Apple. That's good. Okay.
Okay.
All right. What, Microsoft? What was I supposed to say? Okay. Okay. So, Jan, right?
Yes.
Jan.
Paul. Yeah.
Jan, you know what? I hear what you're saying on how you get paid, and I see a lot of value in what you do. I don't know if I feel comfortable moving forward being obligated to pay compensation.
I totally understand. You have a job, you get paid, right? And I have a job, I get paid. But I think currently a lot of people don't really understand the value of an agent. I believe I have the value will bring to you. Even now you are not deciding anything. I'm still going to commit to this connection and answer your questions. Do you have any questions, concerns, thoughts at this moment?
Well, I don't want to be in a situation where, I don't have that much money to outside of, I have $15,000. I know it's probably going to cost around $12,000 for all my costs based off of the math that I did. And, I don't, a 3% of $400,000, that's $12,000. Like, I don't have that to pay you.
There's a lot of ways that you can pay towards that. Usually, the seller will come with that portion of money to pay the buyer's agent. Most of the scenario will be that way. Do you feel comfortable with that one?
I mean, if they pay it, I would be comfortable.
Of course.
Yeah.
Do you want to show some houses? Do you want to see some houses?
I do want to see houses.
Okay, let's see some houses. So currently, what area are you looking for?
So, but wait, if I sign this, then am I going to be obligated to pay a commission?
Yes, but my strategy I'm going to sign a 2-day with you so that you can feel that what's my work strategy for you. So let's go. I don't want you to feel too obligated to me. So let's pick up several properties you feel comfortable with, and let me just do a 2 days with you so that you will feel when there's an agent besides you, what's that feeling, and how am I going to bring the value to you.
Okay, can I cancel this agreement though?
Yes, you can cancel it,
okay.
But I'm going to have 90-day protection day, just unless you like one of the property, I'm still going to be your agent to close it. But you will, if you don't like them, but you feel like you want to work with me for a longer time, let's create an official one, because I'm going to devote my time. I'm going to reject other people to be my buyer. I'm going to commit my time to you, and you will have my fully devoted to you and work for you. And I want to be present to you, and I want you to feel that I bring the value to you, and you find your dream house. And ultimately, you pay me, it's okay. Other people pay me, it's okay. But I will help you save money, because you will not go with other people without people representing you. How about there's a property is so bad? How about a property is overvalued? I don't want to go to that risk. Is that okay?
That's okay. All right, let's give it up for Jan. Let's give it up for Jan. Okay, what'd you like? Quick, what'd you like? Brave for being up here. Yeah.
She kept going to
yeah.
at value. It was great. It was
value.
It was a value
Lots of value. I love that. Good.
And it's not a long-term commitment. Yeah. We can do this. It's a good strategy. After, okay, I'll pull the 5 properties that our offering from a seller to go show you that, to show that value and build that rapport when you're showing them.
Yeah, I like the strategy, and I think you can even build on that and be like, look, let's select some houses, you know, and you'll end up seeing that the way the market is working right now is that sellers are still willing to pay. And that's going to remove the fear and the risk that you're going to have to come.
Well, and I think even more so than just the market, I think she was like, just see if you're comfortable with you. Like, I get that me sitting here telling you what I can do, let me show you and like feel the energy between us, and you know.
That was good. Yeah, I like that too. All right, one more. I saw a hand over here. What'd you like? Good? All right, coaching moment. Opportunities for her. Ask more questions.
The statements that you were making were amazing, but turn them into questions. So they have to realize it. Instead of you telling them, they have to tell you.
Yeah, which, by the way, common error for new agents is that you guys say a lot of really good stuff. Like the stuff you're saying is really good, but you got to turn it into a question, okay? Because it's a conversation, con, with, Spanish, okay? Together. Turn those statements into questions, all right?
Make them a true value statement. It's like when you work with me, you know, would this be important to you? The other would be cut it down into bite size instead of just continue. When we get nervous, we talk.
Yeah.
And if you break it down into smaller chunks, then
yes.
you're going to get information from him.
Yeah.
Because we heard a whole lot about you. You weren't learning too much from him.
Right.
And that's the goal. Get to know them, like he says.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a role play.
And you were in front of people. I mean, listen. You were super brave. That was really good.
Constructive feedback.
So one thing on that is priming questions are questions that lead. So a priming question is a question you know the answer to. Did you want to get the best deal possible, right? Right. Okay. So you only want to look around Leander. Is that? Do I hear that correctly? Yes, just Leander. Questions that you already know the answer to. Yeah. Priming is really, really good technique. Okay. Hold on. Really quickly.
Michelle said something last week that made me start thinking down another line of questioning or response to an objection of if I find a house and I can't pay $12,000.
Yeah.
That's what you said. What she said was, you're not going to take out a buyer who can only afford a $500,000 house. You're not going to waste your time showing them $1 million houses. So why would you get into a situation where you're showing them things they can't afford, including your compensation? So instead of when you say to me, I can't afford $12,000.
Yeah, I can't afford to pay $12,000, Kim.
I can't afford to pay $12,000.
No.
Paul. I can see where that might strike some stress in you in this process. Is that right? You feel a little stress around that?
Definitely.
Because that's an obligation that you're feeling. Is that right?
That's exactly how I feel.
Okay. So it sounds to me like what we have here is an affordability problem, not a compensation problem. So what we really need to do is have a really good discussion with your lender and understand what your affordability is and the strategies that we can use as a team to structure an offer that will make sure that you're not put in a position where you are having to pay my compensation. Does that sound like a fair conversation to have at this point?
That sounds fair.
Great.
All right. Here's another thing too on that is that look, you don't have to pay anything until we go into contract. So if we can't, if I have options to be able to negotiate a commission when they don't initially offer a commission, if there's an option to be able to nudge the price or build it into the loan, then look, I'm going to find every creative solution I can for you to win. But at the end of the day, like if you don't feel comfortable with the numbers, just like with price, I mean, you're not going to move forward. Are those your thoughts? Yes, those are my thoughts. Okay, so let's begin to figure this out, and we're going to take it step by step. And by the way, I finally did this presentation this last week on a $1 million buyer who was assigned internet call on one of my listings and didn't really like realtors, didn't see the value in it. She prefaced that on the opening of the presentation, and I'm like, all right, here we go, let's go. Guess what? Signed. 3%, no problem, okay? Because I demonstrated clear value. Why did she feel that way? She had a bad experience with a prior realtor. I dumped value, and she was like, Okay, pro, here we go. Did you have something to add still?
Yeah, well, actually, it was more like, we know Jen, right? And we've talked about this before. She talks about her buyers or her appointments taking like hours or like really long. 3 hours.
Yeah.
Right? So she's obviously high S. And I think that when she was role playing, she was trying to treat you like high D.
I don't know. Is that how you felt?
Well,
no.
The reason why I'm bringing it up is because like people that are high D have trouble being emotional and walking.
She's not high S, by the way.
Oh, well, yeah. What I'm saying is just the emotional conversation. With drivers, right? So like the emotional energy that you have to put into a conversation when you are a D, to be to work with S's and I's and things like that. You know, I think that may impact how you approach it, how you ask your questions. And you have to put more work into that as opposed to like a D working with a D.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. No, she is D. Yeah.
Past the 2 weeks, I transferred from S to D. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah, you don't transfer. Honey, you didn't transfer, you were always that way, okay? Yeah. And it's not more work. I want to do one more role play. I want to kick this around just for a second. It's not more work, it's more understanding. It's not more work though. It's the same amount of work. It's just, it may be more work for you because it's not, you feel like it's more work, but you're saying the same words, you're using the same energy. It just may not feel as natural to you, right? But you're not saying more, you're not going into more, you're just being a little bit more strategic about your comprehension on awareness and like, who am I talking to, what's going on here, what's important, and what do I say? Okay, look, I'm just gonna hot potato it real quick. Well, I don't wanna pay the compensation. It seems like it's, something that I really can't afford. Johanna?
It seems like it's something that you cannot afford. I can definitely understand you work really hard to save the money that you have available to purchase a home today, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I would do the same thing. I will be hesitant to just pay something that I'm not comfortable with today. Did you know that there are multiple options available to help you save this money?
I wasn't.
Why don't we talk about it? Would you like to talk about that now? Would you like to talk about that now?
Okay, good. I like it. All right. So I was in the appointment, but you went to the setting the appointment, which is fine. I like it. That's good. Well, I don't feel like I really even need an agent, Jake. I could just go to the seller directly. We're at the open house here. I'm thinking about just calling that agent, Pauly. I heard he's pretty good.
What are you hoping to accomplish by doing that? What are you looking to do?
Well, not have to pay an agent and maybe have some of those monies allocated to drop the price a little bit.
How much are you looking to save by doing that, going that route?
Well, maybe at least 3%.
What if I could show you I could save you well over 3%?
Okay, break script. You can be a really powerful communicator. What was he missing, Kim?
There was no repeat approved.
Yeah, no repeat approved. Yep. So it sounded cold and sterile, yep. And that could even be combative. So when you come to Power Hour, we work on repeat approves, because that was awesome response. That was great. Those were really good responses, okay? And when I repeat what they say, when I approve, Kim, by the way, your role play earlier was freaking awesome. Dude, you were so good. You used everything. Like you were using, whoever's been coming to Power Hour for a long time, she used sensory level shifts. She was repeating and approving. You did the sensory level shift. I was like, dang, all right. That was really, really good. And Jake, I know based off of just some of the conversations I've had with you that when you begin to tweak it a little bit more on just your awareness with, okay, repeating, make sure they're feeling heard.
That was a role play.
Yeah. Hey, that's why we do it. That's why we do it, right? Because once you burn your hand, you remember what that burn feels like, especially in front of a room of 30 people or whatever. And so that awareness then begins the transformation of being able to, look, real estate's about what? Relationships. And the conversation is the relationship. This is about having better conversations. That's why we're here. That's why Power Hour exists. Okay.